All right, boys, today we're going to show you how to build a funnel in less than 30 minutes using something that's called LanderLab. Now, you're going to come across a few funnel builders, right, such as Heyflow, Perspective, as well as LanderLab. LanderLab is one of those hidden gems that you don't know about until you actually see that they were built by people that were previously owners of paper lead agencies, right? So it is extremely flexible, and for the price of 89 dollars, you can have 100,000 visits. So it's very good for their value, and they have excellent support. And I'm not really affiliated with them in any sort of way. So let's get straight into it. What's also really good about this platform is that they have build out templates, right? So you can legit go onto one of the templates and basically remove the things that are not of use to you and build out your own quiz funnel. So what's been converting right now, very much so in Paper Lead, are quiz funnels, right? And I'm gonna show you exactly what those are. So one of the cleaner funnels I've seen in the particular niche that I want to target, which is the Australian solar market, right? And it is a very good paper lead niche right now because the government has a rebate. So for consumers, it's like a 30% discount of like an 10 to 20,000 Australian dollar order, right? So it makes a lot of sense for them to buy now, and oil prices are rising very high. So this is a very good vertical, and it is a very clean funnel. So we'll be basically copying what they're doing, and just trying to make it a bit better, and just speed run it for you guys. But essentially, what a quiz funnel is, right, are those little multiple choice questions that you can choose. And what usually increases conversion rate is if you don't only have multiple choice, but instead of these little multiple choice buttons, you have actual pictures, right? Because we as human beings, like psychologically, we're just drawn more to visuals than to words. So with that said, let's get into it. Right, this looks way too AI, so we're gonna remove it. This is something we don't need. So the great thing about LanderLab, you can just change up the templates and edit it as you see fit. Right, and LanderLab is just godsend because they have built out form fills as well. So you can see right here that they have built out templates. I'm gonna choose one of the quiz funnel templates, and then from bathroom remodeling, use template, and I can just customize it. So I'm telling the AI on LanderLab to currently build it out for me, which is crazy. I mean, the machines are gonna take over very soon, and it's like, wow, this is actually incredible. Okay, sun exposure assessment. Okay, that seems wow. Okay, it just built all of this out in an instant. And some of it obviously is not that accurate, but it's still, pretty good for the time. But yeah, we took a look at another funnel's like thank you page. And if you really don't know a vertical, right, you can just take a look at the landing page, uh, funnel hack them, and take their best like parts and kind of stitch your own funnel together. You do need a bit of copywriting knowledge to basically make sure that the funnel is converting, because what mainly matters in the funnel, right, is the headline. So this part is really, really important, as well as how your quiz is configured and what type of questions you ask, right? So an example of taking the best elements of your competitor's funnel is, for instance, right, you see the offer, save with no cost solar, claim the government solar rebate now, complete this 30-second form to qualify. So this is like a small detail. It does make a difference, because then what people think, okay, this is just 30 seconds of my time. I have 30 seconds I might as well just complete this form, right? So be sure, like psychologically, it's always good to include these small details, because essentially you're paying for every lead, right? And if you up the conversion, you make money. And then here on the thank you page, you can see the specific value propositions that work, right? So zero out of pocket, and I can I think that's because of one of the government rebate programs that the Australian government is running right now. So I think they have either a payment plan or they can first get it installed and pay later, right? So local installation, professional installation by certified experts, immediate savings. What I would probably do here to improve the copywriting is to quantify how many savings. But this is the thank you page, so it doesn't matter too much, right? Confirmation call, connector, site assessment as installation. So it gives them a quick outline of what's going to happen, and that they should be expecting a call. So this is something we can also implement on our thank you page. Oh my god! But like I love LanderLab because in matter of minutes they build out this whole quiz funnel, right? So find out how much you can save with solar. Um, we can basically take out this. Actually, let's just first update it and see how it looks like, right? So okay, you first need to click on one step. We don't want this. This is like redundant, right? This whole page, because it just adds just too much. It's just too much words. You just need to add as little friction for your lead as possible. Are you the homeowner? Yes or no? Do you have existing solar installed? Yes or no? Now you can see it's just like way more clickable. It's just way more sexy than just a multiple choice funnel with the normal yes or no, right? And all of this with the funnel, your goal is basically to maximize dopamine in your specific lead or consumer. So they click the funnel and go to the end, right? Because you want to make sure they fill out their information. What were you interested in, solar, battery, or both? Right? So I basically put three questions in. I'm gonna prompt it to have a bit more, I think. So yeah, the AI is at work again. Oh my god, this is such a nice application of AI because this would take me like an hour to build out, right? To choose all the pictures, make sure they match, and all of that. But now it just does it. It's brilliant, and you only pay $87 for it, right? And the general tech stack in Paper Lead is go high level is like $100. You get free accounts. LanderLab, you get another $100. Now, what's costly is the lead distribution software, and that's typically Lead Prosper, right? You need that lead distribution software if you have multiple buyers and want to send leads to multiple buyers with one single funnel. So it's a bit more for advanced people. But anyways, you can see that it just built this out in matter of like 2 minutes, right? The contact information, great news, your home may qualify for solar savings. So that's also, I would say something, I'm going to change this to like, hey, where do we send your solar savings quote to, right? Because then they think, okay, I'm going to get like an analysis or report when I basically fill in my information. Because why else would you fill in your information and give away your personal information if you're not getting something in return, right? And for those reasons, I would word this, like I said, where should we send your solar savings results? Something along those lines. And what you can also do is take a look at other funnels and seemingly compare what kind of questions they ask, right? Because funnels in itself, they are all about how to bring the consumer to the next step. Typically, there's a drop off rate, right? From the first to the second step, maybe you lose like 20-30% of the customer in the best case scenario. So from people who click on the ad, who like 100 people land on the first page, 70% clicked on the button and went to the second page. That is a really, really conversion rate on the first page. So look at this, guys. What is your typical? Oh my god, that is so good, actually. What is your typical quarterly? This is surprising because I'm using it for the first time. When do you use most of your power? Yeah, this is really, really clean. So let's see how that goes. And it also has this calculating your solar savings um, section, which is kind of clean, man. It's, I think it will legit build a funnel better than I could build it out. So you can see here, and then you can always also go on save and preview. So in the preview, you can see it is quite clean, you know. Have you claimed your government solar rebate yet? Energy Insider. Obviously, we'll clean up the section and just remove the spaces. You got some testimonials, some trust things. In Australia, typically, I mean, for every market it's different, but in Australia, typically, you have more compliant marketing. So people trust testimonials more, right? So you should always look, if you're doing pay per lead in a foreign country, always look up the rules. This is still on the border of acceptance. If I had like a trust pilot here, I probably have a chance of getting sued if I were to do it at a volume, right? Because if you get like 1,000 leads, maybe somebody is going to report you because they had a bad day. Do you have an existing solar system installed? Yes, no. So, right, if you have like such big clickable buttons, who would not want to click it is the question. That's why these quiz funnels, a lot of the e-com like elites, the e-com empire emperors are doing it. They're doing like 8 9 figures because they know that this drives dopamine, right? It just visually more attractive, and it drives conversions basically. And what you can also do, right, to make sure the conversion rate is higher is not ask 3 questions at once. So I would probably change this to like, I'm gonna ask for their full name first, and then like email, and then number. So in 3 different questions. So it's not too much like like when they go onto this page, they were like, okay, I have to give all my information away. Whereas it's just like one by one, they commit a bit more to the funnel, right? So this is a more like technical and psychological step I see on a lot of funnels, after having like looked at like 500 at least. So on the funnel, I would typically also avoid any like outrageous texts. I mean, people are just not gonna read this, right? So how the new solar program works? Just try to have as less text as humanly possible while conveying your value proposition and making it look professional, right? So all these little details like numbers, statistics always help, right? Testimonials as well. And yeah, so on the thank you page, you can do something like you qualify for a no net cost solar installation. Then the consumer might think, okay, like I am actually eligible, right? That's great news. So they get also a dopamine rush from the confirmation. And you can also have basically their name on there and email. So basically, we're going to send you a report to your email, and homeowners can save like 20 to 40 grand, right, on a yearly basis. So a lot of the funnel you can also make dynamic, and what that means is it adapts to the lead. So when the lead fills out the information on Meta, their full name as well as email on Meta, it gets pulled in by the system and sends it to LanderLab, right? And LanderLab can kind of, so when they fill out the information on the form, it will basically adapt to their name. So if it's like James, thank you, James, based on your response, yada yada. And small details like that always matter, right? Because it adds up. The small things add up in marketing. But anyways, I hope this was a video where you could learn a bit more about how easy it is to build out a funnel and generate some cheap leads at great quality, obviously. And I have a Telegram chat as well as a upcoming school community, or Instagram if you have any questions. Peace.